Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here this morning. So, today's Dharma talk is entitled From Seeing to Living, Sanditthiko and Opanayiko. Opanayiko. There we go, Opanayiko. In reflective meditation, especially. So on Monday, I talked about the quality of the Dharma known as Sanditthiko that, really teaches us that the Dharma is apparent here and now, directly visible in this body and mind. This speaks to how the teachings are not abstract beliefs or distant ideals, but something we can experience for ourselves, that the Dharma is revealed in the immediacy of experience. And this week, I have been experiencing Sanditthiko directly. Because in Oregon, we have been facing some of the worst wildfires in our history. And Portland, where I live, has been inundated with smoke. In fact, for a few days, we were the city with the absolute worst air quality in the world. You can let that sink in the world. So, right in front of us, in front of me, was the dukkha of suffering from the fires, from the people whose homes were burnt, from the now 2 million acres burnt, and from the smoke, which, because I have asthma, became impossible. We don't have air conditioning, but we are privileged to have a cabin at the beach. So the smoke in Eastern Oregon, the fires, were to the east of us in Portland. And when the east wind blows, we have a long gorge down the Columbia River, and the smoke was pushed down that gorge into Portland, and actually all the way out to the coast. So we escaped to our cabin here, but the smoke was still here, again, directly experiencing. So for 2 days, I stayed inside the cabin, where at least we have an air filter and air conditioning. I looked outside at the sun, orange in the sky, and felt such gratitude that I had a place to be, and such compassion for those who didn't. In reflective meditation, in our practice, we practice Sanditthiko every time we pause and simply notice what is present. We can explore our thoughts arising and passing, emotions moving through the body, moments of resistance, moments of ease, moments of suffering. We learn to trust direct experience rather than just concepts. And we learn about the Dharma through understanding our experience. So this morning, I'm going to explore and share what I'm learning about another of the qualities of the Dharma, Opanayiko. Opanayiko. So one quote I found about this really resonated with me. Opanayiko means leading onwards or leading inwards. It's a characteristic of the Dharma that leads us into our depths, which is where truth and liberation and relief are found. They are not found anywhere else. And this is from a book called Chanting the Mirror, the Dharma. Excuse me. So Sanditthiko allows us to recognize the Dharma. It asks us to see. Opanayiko invites us to come closer, go deeper, to embody it. If Sanditthiko reveals that the Dharma is present, Opanayiko asks us to allow that truth to transform how we live. The Dharma continually invites us to bring what we see into the intimacy of our own lives. And this movement from seeing to living, I think, is at the heart of my experience with reflective meditation. Sometimes in meditation, it often feels, for me anyway, as if I'm standing outside my experience, observing it from a distance, noticing and giving language to what arises. I notice and name, I feel anxious, or I feel sad, or frustrated. And this does have value because it helps me create a small gap between my own experience and my awareness of it. That gap can bring different choices to me about where I might go with that awareness, how I might respond, how my curiosity might lead me. And in our practice, we do invite gentle curiosity. And this opens the way for Opanayiko. Rather than just noticing anxiety, Opanayiko gently asks us, can we become curious about how anxiety arises? Is it trying to protect me? Is this a help or a hindrance? Is there another possible way to experience what is happening? Rather than judging my sadness, I might ask what it might be asking me to acknowledge or understand about the conditions in my life right now. Rather than pushing away uncertainty, I might discover or allow myself to explore what it feels like to make room for not knowing. This is no longer simply awareness. It's turning toward our experience and turning inwards to deepen our understanding. And I believe, and I have felt, that this requires the courage to be vulnerable. And I think it can lead to a greater capacity to be compassionate, both towards ourselves and towards others, as we come to see and understand and deeply know our humanness. I used to think that the only way that I could learn and understand the Dharma was to study Buddhism. And it's true, that study has value and it has been helpful. And listening to Dharma talks has been helpful because there's knowledge there. But I think knowledge and wisdom are not the same. Wisdom grows only when the teaching or the conceptual knowledge becomes lived experience. I used to be a trainer, and I struggled so much with the typical methods of teaching, training, and teaching. I was also a teacher that say to start from the concept and move into an experience. Whereas for me, it felt so much more real to understand my experience and then try to conceptualize it and apply it. So we know intellectually, and I certainly know intellectually, if we just read the newspapers in Portland, that everything changes. But what happens experientially when everything changes or when things change? When someone we love disappoints us, when smoke and fire make it hard to breathe or scorch our homes, when illness enters our lives, when we lose something so precious to ourselves. In those moments, Opanayiko quietly asks, can this teaching become real now? Can impermanence become something we feel rather than just simply understand? Can compassion become the way we meet our own grief? Can equanimity become the space that allows joy and sorrow to coexist? I have found that in our practice, we have the opportunity to discover these teachings from within. One thing I really appreciate about reflective meditation is that it never forces experience. Instead, it offers a gentle turning. And again, we can ask, what is here? What conditions are arising with this thought, this feeling, this sensation? And then, can I deepen my understanding rather than try to solve something, fix or change something? Can I come closer to it with curiosity, with kindness, with allowing? This is moving towards Opanayiko. And like our practice, it asks us to befriend our experience, to be present with it, to be present as we experience that river that flows through us, its currents, its sandy layers and rocks and shifting shores, to allow ourselves to move from seeing the river to emerging into its waters. And as we do, we can begin to realize that we're not trying to reach the Dharma. We've been swimming in it all along. And as we move in it, meditating, we might carry these two questions. What's being revealed in my experience right now? What is my awareness as I travel in this river, as I experience it, noticing without trying to change anything? And the second question is, can I let this experience teach me? So thank you for your time. We're going to take 10 minutes we're going to take 30 minutes